So we're going to talk about why we got into coaching and why we call ourselves hobby builders. So for me personally, I got into coaching from a background story. I know what it's like to be fat as fuck. I know what it's like to be skinny as fuck. I also know what it's like to stress about over the minutiae of things, for it to damage and limit your life. And over the years, I've just learned how to manage myself and my clients better in that manner. Because there's nothing worse, say for example, if the lads or the lasses are going out for a meal and you're there hounding the menu and deciding what to eat, and then you're anxious about going out to that event or the social occasion or family occasions like Christmas and all that sort of stuff, and overthinking everything, like paralysis with analysis. So I know what it's like, and I hate for people to be in that scenario, and I also know what it's like to be fat as fuck and all the effort it takes to get into shape. And I like to see the wood through the trees and cut all the bullshit out. And like, I do a lot of stuff. I go camping, walk the dogs, go out on my bike, go swimming now. Like, I do a lot on that side of the spectrum of having a life. And I like to show people that you can still have a life and do all this, because when you strip it all back, all that we really do is we go to the gym and we manage what we eat and we train really hard, and that comes from experience. And if myself or Ali, like, we're here to fast track, we're here to save people time, and we want to be different. We want to be different in the industry. We want to wade through that bullshit of the industry and trying to just sell you something all the time. Why are you a hobby builder, mate?
Hobby builder, why am I a coach? Which one do you want to go for first? So I got into coaching because it was pure obsession. Like, I was just obsessed with training in general. So I used to run, used to go to the gym, didn't have a clue.
Seeing you run was the funniest thing I've ever seen. Like
yeah, no, mate, do you want to go to your swimming? No. So I think we'll leave it there. It's okay. Basically, Ben can't swim.
Funny story on that, mate. When I was in Australia, a 16-year-old girl had to save me out of a pool.
Oh, that's hard.
True story.
Yeah.
I was 21. It was someone's daughter, just to give that some perspective. It wasn't weird. And I was really drunk.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah.
So I used to run, not when I ran in lockdown.
Do you think you'll get back into running, because
No.
that's what coaches do now?
No, someone asked me that yesterday. When you finish bodybuilding, you're going to do BJJ. I was like, no.
I'm doing BJJ.
Why?
Joe Rogan.
Why?
No, I'm kidding.
Just why? It's like Joe, if you generally have a passion for it, then yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people are just doing it because it looks cool
Trend.
to do. And no, because someone just snapped my shoulder, and yeah. Because what I hate when people go, I will get into why I do this sort of stuff, is when people
What I do like about us, just as a side topic, is we're not trend coaches.
Yeah.
We don't do something because X, Y, Z is doing it.
So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. So I'll compete this year. I'll assess. I might do back-to-back years. Nobody else knows about that yet. I might do back-to-back years, depending on how I do, because I've never done it before. But after the next year, if I do it, I'll be done. And my nephew will be 3 going on 4, so I'll be on the golf course with him.
That'd be boss.
Yeah, I'll train 3 times a week, 4 times a week, and then I'll be spending 2 days or 2 half a days with him on the golf course.
I'm coming to the opinion, and I've known it for a long time, do you know, for like the general person,
Yeah.
I genuinely think 3 to 4 gym visits a week
No
is
more than 4.
ideal. Yeah.
I don't think anyone can train 5. That's a tell lie. I think if you've got your shit in order, you can train 5.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people benefit more from 4 than 5.
Yes.
I think 4's got flexibility.
Yeah, so much flexibility.
So I was filming for 4 on Monday. Filming at 11. I've got most of my check-ins. I've got a lot of my check-ins on a Monday. So I was doing 14 check-ins on a Monday, filming at 11, and then I had a call at 4. So there's no time for me to train. So instead of training on Monday, I trained Sunday.
Yeah.
And then it get freed up my Monday.
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
if you've got a 5-day split, you've only got 2 days to play around with that.
Yeah.
So I don't think people can train 5 days a week unless you're robotic and you're really obsessive, which is fair. You've got your sleep nailed, you've got your nutrition nailed, and you don't have much stress.
But then again, like, you know, if you just proper love training and you want to do an arm day.
No, I still think it's pointless.
Yeah, but if you really enjoy
If you want
you
to,
can still do it.
I think if you want to get the most progress, I do think 4's 2 on, 1 off, 2 on day off, 2 on day off. I think it's the best split.
See, I don't like that, because then personally, that solidifies your week in terms of that.
Yeah. But
in terms of being fucking
the best split,
optimal.
yeah, I think that's the best split. Yeah, so like upper lower off, upper lower off, upper lower off.
Yeah, and then that's when the whole realm of like enjoyment comes into it as well. Because I don't personally, I'd
So I would have loved it 4 years ago when I was really obsessive. I'd have done that. And I wouldn't have cared about my relationships or how it affected my relationships, friendships, or whatever it may be. Whereas now, 4 days, because I get 3 days off, focus on business, do something fun.
it creates that nice balance with everything.
Yeah, so 4 days. So how I got into coaching? I used to do a lot of fitness stuff. Didn't really have a clue what to do. My granddad had me a PT.
You actually did mechanical engineering, didn't you?
Yeah.
At uni?
Yeah, but that's not. Yeah, so I'd done a degree, and that had nothing to do with anything else. That was a waste of money. But I'm old now, so I only pay £9,000 for it.
Mate.
Whereas people are paying 27 grand now.
Yeah.
Just people used to get a degree for 3 grand.
Yeah, it's mad. Yeah, I don't know if it changed, but I think in Scotland, I'm pretty sure they were like government funded.
Yeah. So I think 4 years or 3 years before I went to university, or maybe even a little bit longer, it was £1,000 a term. So it was like 3 grand overall. And then mine went to 9 grand. And then when my sister went to university, or the year after, went to 9 grand a term.
It's fucking mad.
27 grand for something you're going to do fuck all with.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of money. So yeah, done that. Then, but just the person who PT'd me ended up becoming my manager, and I work for a company called Elite Fitness Consultants, and the rest is history. Very, very heavy educational based company. Learned a lot of stuff then, which I probably was nowhere near the level to learn, but I got exposed to it, so I realised how smart people could be. And the owner of the company, even though he's a bit of an interesting individual, I'll put it like that, he was very clever. He was very, very clever, yeah. He's probably still one of the most clever coaches. I don't think that's correct English, but one of the cleverest coaches I've ever seen. You might know who he is. Well, you might know because he's from the Wirral.
Who is it?
Lewis Bailey. There's a place in West Kirby. He had a studio in West Kirby called Elite Fitness Consultants. Loads of people used to work for him. So, you know who Chris Redmond is?
You still run it now?
Lee Plant? No.
Lee Plant, yeah.
Yeah, Lee Plant used to work for him. Eve?
Yeah.
I think she either got PT'd or worked for him. There was loads. Natasha Dawn?
Yeah,
Natasha Dawn used to work. So, like, honestly, Tom Rowley used to work for him. The amount of coaches he had underneath him that have all got off and done their own things, it's quite cool now. Because we're all obviously quite good because we've all still within the industry. So yeah, that was that. And then why I'm a hobby builder, I just fucking love it. I don't actually know how. I don't love bodybuilding anywhere as much as what I used to. In regards to the people who do it.
Yeah.
I was saying this to someone else before. It's like everyone feels like they deserve a pro card.
Yeah, like every ounce of me. Jenna will ask me this quite often, like, why do you do it? And it's like, because I fucking love it. And then she's like, I don't get it. I'm like, you don't need to.
Yeah.
Like, I love every single bit of it, but I still have a life and do it.
Yeah. I never used to. I never used to have a life.
I think we've both been through phases that way.
Yeah. Just obsessive.
Like I was in the camp once upon a time where.
Do you have a ghost?
Might do, poltergeist.
It's fucking weird.
Like I was in the camp once upon a time where I thought the longer you dieted, the better you looked.
Yeah.
And to the point of no return where just look wank.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people, and again wrongly so, get stuck in that hole. And I like getting people out of that hole and helping with the relationship with food and all that side of stuff. Again, I know it because I've been there and done it. Now, if someone's got an eating disorder, I'll very much stay in my lane.
Yeah.
And I think that's an important factor as well, where people do need to learn to stay in the lane a little bit more.
Agreed. I think, to what you just said then, was like, I think you and I have made a lot of mistakes. So you said before about fast tracking people's progress. Because we've made the mistakes, we know that what they don't need to do, or they don't have to do because we've been there and done it. Sometimes you also just let them need to make it.
Yeah.
So I think that's another thing coaches need to learn to do is, know if a client is adamant to doing something, you've tried to tell them it's not the right thing to do, just let them fucking crack on. And then knowing they haven't achieved what they want to achieve, just go, told you so, you're going to listen now.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people just need to make the mistake themselves. Like Ben's asked me for ages to work with Mike, probably about 3.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now I'm working with him, and he's a little bit more expensive, so it's my own fault. We just love training. I think that's the big thing, is like me and Ben really, really love training. Me and Ben argue about training in a respectful way, but I'm right the majority of the time. He just doesn't like to admit it. I am.
No, you're not.
I am right.
It's difference of opinions, otherwise everybody would train the same.
But I think everyone should train the same. I think they're just too emotionally attached to things. That's my argument to it. So the emotion's important. So like a tricep dip isn't necessarily a good exercise for building tissue, in my opinion.
But we love it.
But you love it, and I still love it. Like deadlift, I've got to stop doing deadlifts. So, but I think I shouldn't do deadlifts anymore.
I think there's principles that people should abide by, but then it's a conflict where the enjoyment factor always comes into it. Like your client should always enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
Whereas if you, like, we're both there or thereabouts in as ideologies of certain things. Again, you'll still reverse banter, a fucking idiot. But I think there's certain ideologies that we both do follow.
Try not to bite, mate.
But that's when it gets a lot more personal for the client.
Joe's nailed it. That's Scott Stevenson.
Yeah.
Fortune's how you should train.
Mate, I genuinely, because, you know, like, with my thought process of the 4-day week thing, I have been tempted to try it again, just for fun.
I think it's... I'm not... the only thing I will say, I think, is the two loading days, the 2 days to start, I don't think the pump days are needed. No, the muscle rounds.
Yeah.
If you took them out and you'd done the 2 first days twice,
yeah,
I think that's a perfect training spot.
It'd be interesting to say, but then you're not doing fortitude, eh? You're doing...
No, but I think that first part, them first 2 days, I think he's nailed it.
Yeah.
Absolutely nailed it.
I'd love to have the opportunity to run it in a good length of time. Because I always say to you, it's perfect on paper, but I've never actually seen a result from it.
Yeah, because I don't think anyone... I think
nobody can stick it out.
Yeah, everyone does it for a little bit and then they stop.
Yeah.
I don't know why, though. I don't know why I stopped. I think it's... I do think it's the muscle round day, is the reason why I stopped.
I think the reason I stopped was I just got another coach. Because I was upset. I was on, like, the Scott Stevenson forums, like, asking him questions all the time. Like, Scott Stevenson, a little claim to fame in an embarrassing way is he rejected me as a client. But I didn't know he didn't coach people anymore. I didn't know he just did consultations. So I put on his forum, like,
you're used to it, though.
I'd like you to coach me. I'm used to rejection. Yeah. Like, I'd like you to coach me. And he sent me, like, a really nice message back, to be fair. But in my head, I read it as, fuck you. And then I found out I did actually coach people.
Yeah.
Mate, that day I was fucking heartbroken.
Yeah. Room, Ben and Jerry's.
Fucking too right, mate.
Bit of Celine Dion.
Binge eating galore.
Nah.
Good old binge days.
But, like, again, people probably don't follow him, and if you don't, you really should follow him. He's a very, very intelligent man. Yeah, I generally do believe there's a right way to train.
Mate, between him and Dante, they were like the pioneers of old school towards
but then
new school.
Joe, someone else, like, I don't agree with John Meadows' training styles. But I think John Meadows is fucking a legend.
To me, John Meadows epitomised bodybuilding. What it is and what it should be.
Yeah.
Because, like, he'd train legs and then he'd go and have breakfast pancakes with his kids and then take them to American football or something like that.
Yeah. He was
like the pinnacle of hobby builder. Yeah. But then when he locked it in when he needed to.
Yeah. And he was decent as well.
Yeah,
he didn't have a belly button, did he?
No, because he got I can't remember what surgery he had now.
Yeah, it's an interesting fact.
Yeah.
But again, I thought he was great.
Yeah.
Not like what you're saying, epitomises what the whole point of this is supposed to be, because you're supposed to do it for fun.
Yeah.
Someone asked me a question yesterday in regard to if you took Instagram away, how many people would do it?
Mate, I would be more heavily involved in it from a fact where I won't spend as much time on social media.
Mate, I'd love it because you know something, right? Loads of people will probably sell the gym equipment.
Yeah.
So I had to get my own gym equipment quite cheap.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's a question of, like, if you took Instagram away, would you do it? If you wouldn't, probably stop.
Go play badminton or something.
Paddle. Everyone's doing paddle now.
Mate, have you seen how expensive it is?
Yeah, no. To be fair, like, I've just said yeah, no, and one of my friends went say yeah, no, have you seen that little bit? I'm just waiting for that to come in. But yeah, it's like 50 quid.
Yeah, it's mental.
For fucking the tennis ball.
Yeah, and it's...
Playing the streets.
Yeah, it's mad. It's just, again, it's another trend. I've been intrigued to see if...
Do you know how I used to play tennis when I was younger?
Like paddle?
So, no, we used to, there was a tennis court, like, the school down the road from where I live, there was a tennis court there. We used to get 2 bins, put the bins, they were the nets, then you should play. Free.
Bring back old school, mate, in multiple elements.
Yeah. Until something happened and then it wasn't free.
Shall we...
End of it.